And today we have a super PAC. We have Eric Burhelm. He's the General Director of Advanced Academic Access. He's from the Office of Teaching and Learning. We have Leslie Greenwich. She's the Instructional Leadership Director for Secondary Education in the Office of Teaching and Learning. We also have Christopher Jargo. He's the Director for Career and Technical Education, and Karen Fulham, the Coordinator for Advanced Academic Access in the Office of Teaching and Learning. Powerhouse team today here presenting to you. So for this next hour, you will hear from them about college and career readiness opportunities in Hillsborough County, advanced placement, dual enrollment, workforce connections, SAT practice, and on Khan Academy, and how your child can benefit from all of the options we have in Hillsborough County. So take it away, team.
Thank you, Angela. This is Eric Burkholm. I oversee advanced academics, and included in that is advanced placement. Many parents and students have heard about advanced placement coursework, and tonight we're just going to talk a little bit about what those courses are, what they look like, how they can benefit you and your student, and how students can use multiple avenues to earn college credit while they're in high school. Advanced placement courses are very rigorous, and they are a course that your student can take while they're in high school to earn their high school credit. And we'll go over the list of advanced placement courses that are available. We're going to talk a little bit about what it's like to take an AP class, and then also about how to help your student decide what AP classes are for them. Not everybody needs to take every single AP class. What we always recommend is that students go for what they like, what they excel in, and with that high level of interest and the high level of rigor, they're most likely to be successful in that AP class. So what are advanced placement classes? Like I said, these are college level courses that students take while they're in high school so that they can earn their high school credit and hopefully on the AP exam taken in the spring of the year, show mastery of college level work. And they do that by scoring a 3, 4, or 5 out of a possible 5 on those AP exams. Those AP exams are taken by students across the country, but also all over the world, where it's the same course, the same exam. These exams are written by college professors, and when a student earns a 3, 4, or 5, they are, especially in the state of Florida, able to earn college credit. What are some of the AP courses offered in Hillsborough County Public Schools? You see a list in front of you now. It is extensive. I will say to you that 38 AP courses are offered by the College Board, and we offer a large number of those. The list of classes that you see on the screen right now are classes that are offered across our district. Not every one of these classes are going to be offered at your neighborhood school, but many of them are. Years ago, when we started advanced academics, we had some schools that only offered 4 different AP options. Today, we don't have a school that offers less than 12. Some of our schools offer over 30. So it depends on what school your child attends as to what AP classes they would be able to take. But if you are attending a school that doesn't offer an AP class that your child wants, there is always an option to take the AP class virtually online, where the student can, while enrolled at their neighborhood school, take an AP class that's not offered there. But again, we have a wide variety of options for students in AP coursework. What are some of the benefits of AP classes? You do learn at a higher level. I will tell you that in order to get into a state university in the state of Florida, students are expected to have advanced placement or dual enrollment or industry certification or IB or ACE coursework on their transcript. That shows the universities that you're applying to that you are prepared for and familiar with college level work. So it is valued in that admission process. They are interesting. Again, go with a class that your student would enjoy, and then the opportunity to earn credit. So it is engaging. You certainly, when you take an AP course, you have an opportunity to go into great depth of the subject area. You do have a number of assignments and projects that you would be expected to complete. But again, that's preparing you for college. So much of college today is group work and projects. There are high expectations in advanced placement, and you see on the screen in front of you things that we value in education: critical thinking, being able to analyze or synthesize, looking at types of evidence, and to be able to write at a high level. That should not scare students off. We have students that take advanced placement as early as 9th grade, starting with advanced placement human geography, and we have a great deal of success in that class. So while you might be nervous about your student taking a college level course while they're in high school, remember that the course itself is a high school course. Success on the exam is what will potentially earn you college credit. So students shouldn't be frightened of taking AP. They should know that it is a high level course and that there are expectations for the student to work hard in the class. People fear the AP exam, and there's nothing to be afraid of on the exam. You can't fail or pass an AP exam. If a student doesn't receive a 3, 4, or 5, let's say they earn a 2, all that means is that they are working at a level that would potentially earn them college credit. It's a 3 or higher that will get them the college credit. The exams are long, they're 2 to 3 hours, and there are a variety of questions, multiple choice, and free response. Again, that's why it's important for our students to learn to write in middle school and in high school, but becoming a writer that would be successful on an AP exam is something that is also taught outside of their English classes prior to taking AP in the AP class. What about AP exam fees? Well, the good news is if you live in the state of Florida and other states, there are no AP exams. There is a state statute that provides every student in Florida with their AP exam fees being covered. No student or parent has to worry about paying for an AP exam fee if they are enrolled in our classes. Now, there are some exceptions to that, and if you have questions about that, you can post those through your comments. But Florida students do not pay anything to take an exam. Again, we talked about the opportunity for credit and placement, and while our colleges and universities do have different policies about AP credit, you certainly can go to the website indicated there, or you can look at the website for the college or university that your student wants to attend and see what their policy is on AP credit. But if you're looking at a state university in the state of Florida, AP credit is accepted for almost all of their classes. The level of 3, 4, or 5 will determine what kind of credit they earn. It would, so for example, if a student wanted to be a sciences major, let's say a chemistry major, and they made a 3 on the advanced placement chemistry exam, they would still get credit for chemistry, but they might not get it in the chemistry for their major. They would instead get it as a science elective. That's not a bad thing. In fact, it's a good thing because students are expected to take a certain number of elective courses when they get to college, and having AP credit count as an elective is still a massive savings for parents in the form of tuition. But what we hear over and over again is that students who are used to taking AP classes and the level of rigor tend to be more successful once they start their university career. What is it like to take AP? Well, let's look at some myths and the realities. The first myth is that AP is for students who always get good grades. The reality is, like I said earlier, if you are prepared, motivated, work hard, study, the AP course can be for you. We hear all the time, I'm afraid to let my child take AP because it'll hurt their GPA. In fact, colleges and universities would rather see you earn a B in an AP class than an A in a regular or honors class. So the weighted GPA does show that students can complete these courses and be successful in them. It's too stressful. It is stressful. But there is support for students from their teachers, from their peers, and hopefully from their parents. When you get to college after you've taken AP, it's not as frightening once you get into those college courses and start to do the work that you've been exposed to in high school. I want to say one quick thing about peer support. AP does teach students how to work together, not just for projects, but also to form study groups, which again is a very valuable skill when students get to college or university. You may not score high enough to get college credit. You don't have to have a 5. Most universities will give you credit or placement for 3s. A student can fail an AP exam. There is no such thing as failing an AP exam. Again, like I said earlier, let's say your child earns a score of 2 on the AP exam. All that says is they are almost ready for college level courses. So yes, it's challenging, but colleges and universities want you to challenge yourself before you get there. It is free in Hillsborough County in the state of Florida. That's $93 for every test that you take. You don't have to pay it. It's flexible in the course choice. So again, look for courses that your student is interested in. Most, again, colleges and universities, certainly in the state of Florida, do grant college credit. So for a 3-credit course, on an average, the cost for tuition is $300 a credit hour. For every course that you get a 3, 4, or 5 in, a parent is saving approximately $900. It does make you more competitive when you apply, and like I've already stated, you are more prepared for the rigors of college. You do develop strong skills. It helps you to prepare yourself for challenges, and it gives you an opportunity to start thinking about what you want to do with yourself as far as a career when you graduate from college. I've said it more than one time already, but I think it is important for our parents and our students to pick what their students are interested in, not just what their friends are taking, and what would be a good choice for them. So before you talk to a teacher or your counselor, what do you enjoy? What do you excel in? What are you thinking about for a college major? What kind of career are you interested in? If I take an AP course at my school, am I likely to do well? Are there other courses that can help me be prepared for AP and then ultimately for college and careers? What are the steps I need to take? This is a conversation that needs to happen with a counselor long before the school year starts. Students who are entering 9th grade next year have already had an opportunity to talk to middle school counselors as they do their programming. And so let's say you haven't signed up for an AP course and you're interested in doing so. You want to do it before the school year starts. There's nothing wrong with talking to other students who have taken AP. Students are very honest with each other. What about study groups? What can I do next to help me get ready for AP? Why would we take AP? First of all, there are studies that have been done nationally that show that students who take advanced placement courses while they're in high school are more likely to graduate from college or university in 4 years. The average today is not 4 years. It's more like 5 or 6. And students who take advanced placement are those students who are most likely to graduate from college in 4 years. That's a huge saving for parents as well, because they're not having to pay for extra tuition. Students who take over 4 years to graduate spend over $20,000 for each additional year. And you also have to think that graduating on time helps you start to earn your salary for your career earlier as well. Approximate cost for credit hours, okay, I said 300. This is saying the average is 212. But again, you have an opportunity to save quite a bit of money as parents and as students on tuition. Over 2 million students nationally took at least one AP exam. We were close to 19,000 students taking at least one AP exam in Hillsborough County alone last year. 85% of colleges that are selected report that students' AP experience is favorable. They want you to have had an AP course or AP courses on that transcript, and that is a much better opportunity for acceptance in the university of your choice. AP could increase your eligibility for scholarships. 31% of colleges and universities consider that AP experience again while they're making scholarship decisions for students. Almost 6,000 university professors collaborate to design the AP courses and the exams. They are recognized and accepted by universities in over 60 countries across the world. AP in high school is positively linked with standardized test scores. And Karen is going to talk a little bit later about SAT prep through Khan Academy. This works hand in hand with this. But again, AP helps with college enrollment. It also helps with that 4-year graduation rate. Here you'll see some resources. And if you were to just type what are AP classes or just AP classes into a search on your browser, you will find a plethora of AP resources. These are some AP resources from the College Board, which writes and handles advanced placement and has for over 50 years in this country. So these are College Board resources that will help students as early as 9th grade. And I think we're going to take questions at the end, but if you want to type a question in, we'll make sure to address it. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Leslie Greenwich, who's the Instructional Leadership Director. She's in charge of all our high schools across Hillsborough County Public Schools.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric, for leading the way this evening. All of what we're talking about tonight are acceleration mechanisms or options to take advanced coursework in preparing your students or your children for life after high school. So what will I be covering in the dual enrollment section? I want to cover what is dual enrollment and its advantages. I want to cover how you qualify for dual enrollment, how do you apply, where do you get the textbooks, and what the expectations of the courses are. And we'll have a question and answer at the end, typical questions that do get asked. So what is dual enrollment? Much like advanced placement courses, these are college level courses. It's an exciting program for dual enrollment that allows high school students to earn credit towards a post-secondary diploma, certificate, or degree at a Florida public institution and towards a high school diploma. So students who successfully complete dual enrollment courses will save time towards their college degree and save money with free tuition and textbooks. So on this slide, you'll see advantages of dual enrollment. So much as Eric mentioned, students that take college-level coursework in high school can shorten their time during college once they've graduated from high school. So this chart shows you over a time period how much time a student will spend in college once they leave high school. So the red line will show, looking at, like example, 2013-14, the average student spent 4.3 years in college when they did not attend dual enrollment courses, whereas a student that took dual enrollment courses only spent 2.9 years in college. So dual enrollment shortens time to earn the college degree to almost half the amount of time. It also saves students and parents upwards of $1,000 per semester in tuition, and even more when you factor in the textbooks. Dual enrollment is guaranteed high school and college credit once you pass the course. The dual enrollment courses will transfer to any Florida public college or university offering the same course. Dual enrollment was developed in part to provide high school students the opportunity to earn college credits prior to enrolling in college, with the intent to both challenge students academically while also decreasing their time to earn an associate's degree. For students who enter with credits earned through dual enrollment acceleration avenues, their time to earn the degree is nearly half of that for students who enter without any college credits earned. It is clearly the case that in Florida, as in the rest of the nation, dual enrollment as an accelerated pathway has proven to be an effective tool to increase college completion. Why is that? So pros of dual enrollment: the smaller classes, where students can engage with their instructor and peers, versus a large class at a university and campus. Also, the additional support through tutoring, advising, counseling, and additional support for students with disabilities. The next slide shows the growth of participation in dual enrollment. You can see over the time period from 2011 through 2017 the increases over time, and that number has only increased since that time as well. Why the growth? Many students take advantage of the cost savings of earning an associate's or associates of science degree before continuing on to a university. These degrees and certificates can prepare students for high-paying careers in 2 years or less. Dual enrollment classes give students a head start on the futures at no cost. Many classes are available online. To see a full range of available classes, students can browse our HCC website. So how do you qualify? A student may enroll in up to 10 credit hours per term. Those terms are fall, spring, and summer. So a student could earn 30 credit hours towards college in 1 year. The student also must be enrolled in a Florida public, private, charter, or home education program. They must have a state unweighted 3.0 GPA. They must have college-ready test scores on the SAT, ACT, or PERT for most classes. They cannot be scheduled to graduate from high school prior to the completion of a dual enrollment course. This would only happen for a senior at the last semester if they were to take a course at the very end, but otherwise you can take it throughout. And the students must also maintain the 3.0 unweighted high school GPA as well as the 2.0 HCC GPA to remain eligible. So how do I apply? Students should talk to their school counselor to determine how dual enrollment fits into their academic plans, just as Eric spoke in reference to advanced placement. Knowing your academic plans and your future thoughts is very important in determining whether dual enrollment is the right for you or whether you'd be better served for advanced placement or a combination of the two. For specific information, students can access the HCC website to search for classes. They would then obtain permission forms, or what we call the Form B, from their school counselor at their high school. They will then create an account with HCC on their website. They will complete the HCC dual enrollment application within the deadlines required by the college, and they will provide their test scores as part of their application process. So what do those test scores look like? So for the SAT, you'll see for post-March 2016, they will need in reading a 24, in math a 24, or on the ACT. In reading, they would need a 19. In English, they would need a 17. And in math, they would need a 19. And in some courses, you can see there, MAC 1105, a math course, they do need some higher level test scores. But you can speak with the HCC advisor for more specific details in reference to that. Now, the fact that our students at school take the SAT, specifically our 11th graders will be taking that right around the corner. It's very easy for students to be able to attain their test scores right at school. So where do I get the textbooks? So required textbooks for the course are supplied by the district at no cost to parents. Students will receive an email with the directions on how to order the textbooks once they're enrolled. They will complete the online textbook order immediately after enrolling in the course. On the website for HCC, you'll be able to see exactly what the textbooks are that you need for the course. They will need to obtain an HCC ID card through the college. And then prior to the start of the HCC term, students should be able to pick up their textbook at the HCC bookstore after they have waited a 3-day wait period. The wait period gives the school district and HCC the opportunity to build an account for you so that you can go to the textbook store and actually purchase your books, and they know what books there you will need to purchase based on the course that you signed up with. You will just need to take your schedule with you, and they'll be able to figure out what book you need there. But the key to this is that you need to plan ahead. It's extremely essential. Students who need to enroll any student that enrolls too close to the start of the course may not receive the textbook prior to the start of the course. So it's very important that as soon as you register, and you want to do that early in the process, you request your textbooks, and that way you'll get them in a timely fashion before the class begins. And then just so you know, the textbooks do get returned to your high school to be used again for other students when possible. And also a student is responsible for paying them back if they don't turn them back in, just like your books at school. So is dual enrollment right for you? So with so many options like dual enrollment, advanced placement, international baccalaureate, ACE courses, to earn college credit, students must explore the best option that meets their academic plans, like when you plan to go to college and what subjects you're interested in. A student must look closely at what their future academic and career plans are to determine the best academic course. For example, are you planning to go to college in-state or out-of-state? How will each of these courses transfer? It's always best practice to think about your plans and even reach out to your future college of choice for their input. All programs in colleges are different. They are different schools, different rules, and so credits may transfer differently. So make sure you check those things out. So what should I expect of this course? Dual enrollment is an accelerated mechanism that allows students to pursue an advanced curriculum relevant to their individual post-secondary interests. Dual enrollment allows students to take college-level coursework where the rigor is to succeed may be much greater than a high school level course. You're taking a college-level course, so you would expect that level of rigor. Students are required to follow the HCC academic calendar. For example, HCC holiday breaks may not coincide with ours, so a student must understand that they're attending a college and must follow the rules that pertain to them. To award credit, dual enrollment students are held to the same academic standards and rigor as a traditional college student. And students may attend courses on one of the college campuses, online if available, or at their high school site if it's offered. So basically you're sitting in a college campus with every student that's a college student right next to you. So it's an excellent opportunity to earn high school and college credits at the same time. So I'm going to talk through some questions and answers because I know we often get the same types of questions, so I'm going to answer a few questions that are often asked. So what is early admission? So early admission is where a student may be excused from the last 2 semesters of high school if he or she is accepted for full-time admission by an accredited Florida college or university. So the student must meet the criteria that's listed here. They have to be a 12th grader, and they have to have completed all requirements for high school graduation or have just a few credits left. And you can see what those credits are. For example, 1 credit of English, because most students would still have their senior English and or math, and a half a credit of economics, which is typically our senior class, or American government, also a half a credit class. Because basically what you're doing is you're spending your entire senior year taking your courses solely at the university. The student must have a little bit of a higher GPA. They must have a 3.5 GPA at the end of their 11th grade year, and they must meet the college entrance criteria on their test scores. When enrolled, they must be a full-time student and take a course load of at least 12 to 15 credit hours per semester. So again, students need to know that this is what they want to do, because if a student does choose to go with early admission, they would not be eligible to be the valedictorian or salutatorian because they're not attending the high school at that time. They're attending full-time as a university student, but they technically are still a high school graduate because they will graduate on time with the rest of their classmates. Another question that we often get asked is, how many credits will I receive for college and for high school? So we utilize the dual enrollment course equivalency list that can be found on the Florida Department of Education website. So for most courses in high school, a course will equate to a 0.5 credit or a 1.0 high school credit. And then on college campus, they might count as a 3.0 college credits. Remember again, HCC and Hillsborough County schools are 2 different schools and credits are equated differently. We only give a half a credit per semester, where some of the college credits may equate to as much as 5 credit hours. Keep in mind that this also indicates the amount of class time and work that might be involved in the college course. Keep this in mind when scheduling your high school and college classes to balance your coursework. Can I take coursework at any college or university? As per state statute, there must be an articulation agreement between the college and the district before a student can take courses at a certain institution. Our district has articulation agreements with HCC and the University of South Florida. Since the Florida State College System is the primary agency for dual enrollment, only courses not offered at HCC will be approved for dual enrollment at the University of South Florida. So what happens if I withdraw from a course? Students who drop a class after the published drop date will receive a W on their transcript, and this will count as an attempt of the course. Withdrawing does not impact the student's high school or college GPA, but may impact their future post-secondary opportunities. Colleges will look at this carefully to see if a student attempted it and then dropped out of it. So you would want to be very careful if you were to withdraw from a course. Students who have earned a W or a non-passing grade can use a one-time dual enrollment petition. This petition is submitted to the dual enrollment office for review, and the student will receive an email whether the petition is approved or denied. And this may take a little bit of time. So what happens if I'm unsuccessful in a course? I'm a little nervous about that. So as a parent or as a student, I might be a little nervous. Well, if I'm unsuccessful in a course, I do need to know that this is a college level course. So if a student earns a grade below a C, students who earn a D or an F in a course are considered not passing. The grades will be entered on the permanent high school transcript and the college record. So a student should take college coursework very seriously due to the possible long-term implications. You just have to remember that the grades are part of both transcripts and may negatively impact the college GPA beyond high school. So we need to take them seriously. Important things to know. Dual enrollment courses are an excellent opportunity to earn college credit, but students need to make sure that they realize that this is a real college course. Students should expect homework and should be motivated to do well in the course. Students should be mindful that courses and grades earned through dual enrollment become part of the student's permanent high school and college transcripts and are calculated into their high school and college GPA. And a student's performance may impact acceptance to state, university, academic standing, and financial aid. if they were to not put their full effort into the course. So why dual enrollment? Studies show that dual enrollment students are more likely to graduate from high school and persist in college to a second semester. They're also more likely to have a higher grade point average 1 year after high school graduation. They're also more likely to transition to a 4-year college rather than a 2-year college. They're more likely less likely to take remedial education courses in college, and that's very important because a lot of students find themselves in remedial courses. They're more likely to persist in post-secondary education, and they're more likely to accumulate a higher number of college credits versus other acceleration methods. And as you heard earlier, it shortens the duration of time that you spend at a university level, also saving you money. So lastly, as I wind up, dual enrollment opportunities are great opportunities for all. They help students get a glimpse into what the college experience while earning college or career credits at no cost during high school. This can save students and their families a significant amount of money, reducing a common barrier to higher education. We would encourage any students who are considering dual enrollment to work with their school counselors to determine whether dual enrollment is a good fit for them. All right, that winds up my portion of our webinar, and we'll open for questions a little bit later. Let me turn it over to Chris Jargo.
Thank you very much, and I'll be talking about the career and technical education programs. Our career technical programs, also known as CTE, are available at our middle schools and our high schools, starting in 6th grade all the way through 12th grade, including our post-secondary technical colleges. We'll have some slides that are going to be displayed here. Our first slide gives you an overview where we call our department the Workforce Connections Division, preparing students for careers and preparing students for life. And we have a number of images that represent the wide variety of programs that we have in the CTE department. CTE programs consist of elective courses that can be taken as early as 6th grade, as I said, typically on an exploratory wheel where students have an opportunity to take a variety of courses during the first semester of 6th grade, and they start selecting the course that they prefer for the second semester of 6th grade and have an opportunity in both 7th and 8th to continue on in that coursework. As they get to high school, they will have course sequences that allow them to take one course or perhaps up to 4 consecutive years of courses over their 4 years in high school. Our CTE courses are in 17 different career clusters. They are part of an overall program of study designed to prepare students to be successful in a rapidly changing workforce and equip them to make informed decisions about future college and career pathways. CTE offers students opportunities to earn highly valued industry certifications and to develop a multitude of skills while experiencing rigorous curriculum with real-world applications. Our students who complete a program of study are eligible for many scholarships, including the Gold Seal Bright Futures Scholarship. There's actually 63 CTE programs in our school district taken by over 60,000 students at all of our 27 high schools, plus our 4 career centers, and 43 of our middle schools. The program of study term is one that means a comprehensive group of courses that are in a sequence and that lead to industry certifications, they lead to careers, and they lead to post-secondary education. They often have multiple pathways, meaning some of the programs you can enter the workforce immediately after high school. Some of them you'll go on to a technical college for a year or two, some a community college or state college, and some a university. So all careers have a pathway that links to CTE. What are the career clusters? As I said, there are 17 career clusters. Our district has courses in 15 of those. We do not have anything in the government or the energy career cluster at this time. But you can see these career clusters run the gamut of all types of industries and jobs you may be familiar with, including agriculture, architecture, technology and arts, business, education, finance, health science, hospitality, human services, which includes cosmetology, information technology, law, manufacturing, marketing, STEM or science, technology, engineering, and math, and transportation, distribution, and logistics. Many of those clusters are represented in our middle schools, and most of those clusters are represented at a wider variety in our high schools. Not every high school is going to have every program. In fact, many of the programs are highly specialized because they do require specific equipment and specific instructors. At our website, we have a list of all of these programs and what schools they are located at. Our CTE courses have curriculum that integrates industry certifications. So what are these certifications? They're an important part of our CTE programs of study because they demonstrate an evidence of a technical skill attainment by our students. When they earn certification, there's a sense of accomplishment, and there's definitely a competitive edge upon graduation, and these students become more marketable in their careers. Research indicates students who attain industry certifications earn more money over the course of their careers than those lacking industry-recognized certifications. Success in specified industry certifications can earn articulated credit to community colleges, and industry certifications count towards the acceleration component of Florida School Accountability System, or the school grade system. Our certifications are earned at both the middle and the high school level. In fact, there were 7,468 of them earned by our students last school year, 2017-2018. Certifications in the middle school level are sometimes called digital tool certificates, and they oversee different types of computer literacy skills. In our high schools, we have a wide variety that we'll be showing you on the next slide. You can see these are some of the actual titles that students are earning industry certifications. Quite a bit in the Adobe suite, which is creative software programs that allow you to create websites, edit videos, or in the case of Photoshop, design and photo edit, crop, etc. with pictures on a computer. So students are taking these certifications at our schools in many cases. They do not have to pay any additional fees. The fees to take the certifications are covered by a funding source that the state provides. In addition to our computer-based certifications, we have some in the agriculture sector. We have some in the culinary sector, which are quite popular, as we have a culinary program at 20 of our high schools. We have many in the health science program, including the CMAA, the Certified Medical Administrative Assistant, and the CNA, the Certified Nursing Assistant. We are very proud of our welding students who have been earning certifications in that very challenging field, and our engineering students who are earning the engineering core certification, as well as our automotive students. So you can see this is just a small slice of all the types of industry certifications that our students are earning. In some of the cases, the certifications are earned after 1 year of coursework, and in some cases it takes up to 4 years and even more if the student takes 2 courses per year to earn these types of certifications. Our students also participate in career and technical student organizations. We call them CTSOs. There's a number of these organizations that are aligned to career clusters, and they provide our middle and high school students competitions that are career learning and preparation activities, can provide scholarships or even internships. These include competitions at our local, state, and national level. They do community service, they have leadership training, and many networking opportunities. We have 9 CTSO organizations, which all have activities at various levels. These include DECA for our finance, marketing, and hospitality students, Future Business Leaders of America, FBLA, Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, FCCLA, FFA for our agribusiness students, Florida Public Service Association for our criminal justice, Future Educators Association, HOSA for Health Science, Skills USA for our industrial and cosmetology students, and the Technology Student Association. We're very proud of our students who do the local, state, and national contests, and they continue to hone the skills that they learn in the classroom through their career technical student organizations. Business partners. In Career and Tech Ed, we are working with the industry to create curriculum that is relevant so students can leave the classroom and be ready to go to the workforce. Our business partners are vital to the success of our CTE programs, and many programs will hold regular advisory meetings whose goal is to provide real-world industry perspective and shape an overall program curriculum. Our businesses are involved with CTE in a variety of ways, including attending these meetings, which are often quarterly, to provide feedback to teachers and administrators about curriculum and industry trends. Our business partners serve as guest speakers to our CTE classes, participate as judges in our CTSO activities, host career exploration events at their sites, and job shadow events, which provide our students with first-hand knowledge of their industry, and hiring student interns who are immersed in the industry for a short period of time to learn fundamental skills. If you represent an organization or would like to know more about becoming a business partner, you may contact us at our office, listed on the screen, 813-231-1860. This is an important part of our overall CTE curriculum. Now I will turn it over to our fourth presenter, Ms. Karen Fulham, and at the end, if there are any questions. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Karen Fulham, and I'm a coordinator in the Office of Advanced Academic Access. Tonight we've heard Eric, Leslie, and Chris share some great information about some of the programs that we offer in Hillsborough County Public Schools, and I'd like to share a resource that we use in Hillsborough County Public Schools that is free for everyone, grades K through 12, but more specifically for our purposes this evening, it is for 8th through 12th grade students. It's called Official SAT Practice on Khan Academy. And again, we support our schools, middle schools and high schools, 8th grade through 12th grade, in helping students to get access to this fantastic tool because it really helps to support some of the skills that they need in order to be successful in courses like AP and the dual enrollment. So here we go. A couple of highlights. First, we have had some really great achievements with our students in the past few years that they've been using Official SAT Practice. It looks like I'm getting a message to speak up. Can everybody hear me okay? I'll keep going. I'll take that as a we're okay. So we've had thousands of...
You're fine.
Okay, thank you, Angela. We've had thousands of our students in the past few years who have earned concordance scores on the SAT school day that Leslie mentioned a little bit earlier, where students are now through practice on Official SAT Practice, getting support in reading skills, in writing skills, and in mathematics skills that are personalized to what they need to work on based on their PSAT scores. So not only are our students graduating as we work toward that goal of graduation of 90% of our students by 2020, but we're also seeing our students increase their SAT scores, and that's again for college admission and for scholarships. So it's a great tool for all of our students. And in 2017, College Board actually conducted a research study on students who were using SATpractice.org on Khan Academy, and they found some really interesting information. So one thing that they found is that students who didn't practice at all between the PSAT that they took in October of one year to the SAT the following year that they still had a 60-point increase, even though they didn't practice on satpractice.org, but they had a year of instruction. So we would anticipate a 60-point increase. But then they found that students who practiced between 6 and 8 hours on official SAT practice had a 90-point increase, and that's pretty significant as we think about college entrance and as we think about the scholarships that students can earn through higher SAT scores. And also, I challenge you, parents, to think about the number of hours that students are spending anyway on their computers or on their phones, on Instagram and games and things like that. So 6 to 8 hours over the course of 1 year is really yielding some really great results. And then when we look at between 20 and 22 hours, again, that's over the course of a full year, we're seeing students with a 115-point increase, which again is a really significant increase. So out of this 250,000 students who were part of the study nationwide, 16,000 of our students saw gains of 200 points or more, and what I think is most significant is that regardless of gender, regardless of race, income, and high school GPA, practice advanced students. So we're really excited about the tool, and that's really why we're encouraging our students to get on as soon as they can and start that individualized practice. So what happens is that students first create their College Board account, and they create a Khan Academy account, then they link the two together. So anytime a student takes a PSAT or an SAT, and we offer the PSAT in grades 8, 9, 10, and 11 free of charge to all of our students in Hillsborough County Public Schools, as well as the SAT on SAT School Day. So a number of opportunities that students have to take the test. Once they've taken the test and they've created their College Board accounts, their scores will populate in their College Board account. When they link that account to their Khan Academy account, College Board sends the student data to Khan Academy, and Khan Academy creates that individualized practice for each child so that he or she is working on the skills that they need to improve. And what you see here is a resource, and I'm going to share a link with you at the end of our presentation this evening with all of the resources that you'll need to support your student in creating and linking College Board and Khan Academy accounts, as well as how to get started and some tips and tricks as well. So be looking for that link at the end. I also have it on a QR code. So you'll see this document in that file. So once students do create their accounts, this is just a screenshot of the Khan Academy, or also called satpractice.org page that they get. And the first thing that students will see is all of those test results that I mentioned earlier. So they see those test results, and they also see their current skill levels based on their PSAT scores. So what you see here is a math bar, the blue box, and then the purple bars for reading and writing. This indicates that the student on this screen has 4 out of 4 bars in each of those skill areas, so he's doing pretty well. But students might see just 1 bar lit up or 2 bars lit up based on their progress in those specific areas. So before we get into the actual skill levels, I did want to share with you one additional feature which I think is fantastic. Students could click on any one of those tests that we saw on the previous slide, and what they'll see is their total score and their section scores for the PSAT. So this particular student shows a 770 total score on the PSAT, and then a 400 for evidence-based reading and writing, and a 370 in math. So when I talk to kids generally and I say, you got a 770, and I share these numbers with them, they say, well, what does that mean? What does that mean to me? So the next piece that I always tell them to look at is that view details. So when they click on that view details button, they then get a breakdown that shows the benchmarks for college and career readiness at their grade level and where they are. So the teal box shows the college and career readiness benchmark by grade level, and then the clear box shows their score. So the student can have a comparison and have a better idea of how he's performing. So we can see for evidence-based reading and writing, for example, a 430 is the benchmark, and this student is at a 400. So I would say to this child, you're only 30 points away from that benchmark. So this SAT practice is really going to help you get there. So we have those conversations. And then as students scroll further down on this page, they can also see where they are. In the red means they're more than a year away from that benchmark. If they're in the yellow, they're within 1 year of attaining that benchmark. And if they're in the green, they have attained that benchmark score already. So I always have students start with the area that they need to work on most. In this case, it would be math, because we see that the student is furthest in the red. And another fantastic tool here is that the student can actually go back into the test to be able to see how he did. So by clicking on that link with the red arrow, that would take the student to all of the questions. And what we see on this slide is the question numbers, whether the student got that question right or wrong with a check mark, and then the difficulty level. So 1 bar shows the difficulty level of the question. It was easy. 2 bars is a moderate level, and 3 bars means that that was a really hard question. So this student missed question 3, and if he clicks on question 3, it actually takes him right back to that question, and he could either rework the question, or if he wanted to click on view answer and explanation, that blue link there would take him back to the selection that he made, which in this case is A, the correct answer, and then a justification for that problem of that answer. So great tool for kids to go back and be able to look at what they missed and why they missed it. And we really recommend that students do that. So now moving away from the test scores and back to that personalized practice. This is the best part, in my opinion, on SATpractice.org, is that it is personalized to what kids need. And once students select either math or reading and writing, they'll see all of the skills. And this shows just a handful of the skills, but there are dozens and dozens of skills that students can practice. And the first thing that they'll notice is their skill level. So for that first skill, the student has a 4 out of 4. So that's not necessarily somewhere that he should focus his attention. He should look down at the skill levels and start with those skill levels. And we see, for example, here in systems of linear inequality word problems, the student only has 2 bars out of 4. So what we would ask the student to do is start by watching a basic example video. The teacher in the video, Sal Khan, actually, from Khan Academy, the creator of Khan Academy, works that problem out for the student, and then the student has an opportunity to practice. And then again, we would ask the student to work on a harder example. If you see the link just below, it says harder example video. So it's a second video that the student has an opportunity to watch. Same skill, a little bit elevated level, and then they practice again. And what they see is that bar that shows 2 out of 4 then becomes a 3 out of 4. And as they continue to practice, it becomes a 4 out of 4. And this is a tool that students can use on their cell phones. They can use it in school, outside of school. We just really encourage the usage of Khan Academy because we saw what the statistics said. Just 6 to 8 hours is a 90-point increase, and 6 to 8 hours in the scheme of 1 year really isn't asking a whole lot. So other ways to use Khan Academy. We just saw really the SAT practice side, but I did want to show some additional features. So once your student creates the Khan Academy account, there are tips and strategies for test taking. So when they click on that tips and strategies, they can learn all about the SAT through videos and through documents that they can read through practice. For some tips and strategies as well. They can practice 8 full-length tests that were written by the College Board. So I do want to say that this is the only platform, Khan Academy, that uses tests that were written by the College Board. College Board writes the SAT. College Board has written these tests for Khan Academy for students to practice. So it's the most authentic practice that students can get. So there are 8 full-length tests, and then students, of course, their signal levels can increase or decrease based on how they perform on each of these tests. But we know that as they take the tests more often, they become more comfortable, and as a result, they do better. And so we really want to encourage that usage for graduation benchmarks, for college and career opportunities, and for scholarships. In addition, students can go back to review how they did in certain areas of the test. They can go back to see what they missed, what they got right, so they know what they need to practice. And the final thing with Khan Academy that I'd like to share this evening is that there are multiple courses that students can practice from early math. You heard me mention earlier that it starts at kindergarten level math, and it goes post high school. So you see some test prep there on the right for LSAT and MCAT. These are college level exams, and so Khan Academy is not just for kids, it's also for adults. So if you're working on any of your own skills, you can create your own Khan Academy accounts and start practicing. So what are your next steps? We really encourage you to make sure that your child has created and linked College Board and Khan Academy accounts. We encourage daily practice. We encourage you to monitor your child's practice, ask him how he's doing, and then to take some of those full-length tests to notice that this practice really is paying off, that there will be growth over time. And I promised earlier that I would share with you a link or a QR code that houses several resources for parents and students in getting started on Khan Academy, official SAT practice. And should you have any questions about the process or need some support, I have my email address there, and my colleague, Emmy Moore in Advanced Academics, her email address is there as well. So I thank you for the time.
Okay, thank you all so much. We want to thank Chris, Eric, Karen, and Leslie for that great presentation and all of the resources that our district has to offer our students. So we're going to field some of the questions that were written earlier. I think most of the questions were geared toward Eric's presentation. So Eric, if you're available, there was a question from Ms. Thornton about if you don't earn a 3 or higher, will they have to retake the course over in college, and then can they retake the AP exam for a course that they have successfully completed?
So, yes, if the student doesn't score a 3 or higher, they will have to take the course in college. It would not have been granted college credit. The second part of the question, Angela, I only see can they retake the AP exam for a course and I don't see the rest of it.
So it says, can they retake the AP exam for a course they have successfully completed?
So they successfully completed the course. Thank you. They successfully completed the course, but they didn't get a 3 or higher on the exam. They can retake the exam, that would be a year later. And so if they weren't studying for that, they might have lost a great deal of the information. But if they've kept their notes and their work from the course, they can retake the exam the following year and potentially score a 3 or higher on it. The second question about a limit on a number of AP courses a child can take in high school, by state statute, no. What I would say as a parent of children who have taken AP courses, you want to be careful that a student doesn't go overboard or crazy on it, because it is rigorous. It does take a great deal of time. And so, again, focus on the areas of strength and of interest, but there is not a limit on the number of AP courses that a student can take in high school. When I see also from SG that there's a question about, is there something similar a child can do in middle school? I wasn't sure if that was for me or for Chris Jargo. In middle school in Hillsborough County, we do not offer any AP courses prior to the 9th grade. The College Board has a policy where students can take AP foreign language in the 8th grade, but in our district, in our pupil progression plan, we don't grant AP credit to anybody prior to 9th grade. If the question from SG is referring to advanced placement, the answer would be for your students to take the most rigorous coursework that they can take in middle school. So make sure that they sign up for those honors or advanced courses so that they're challenged and that they're working hard in those courses to prepare for high school and AP or dual enrollment or industry certification.
I think there's also a question about, will they have to pay the $93 after the year?
If they retake the exam?
Ms. Thornton, could you clarify that question? Will they have to pay the $93?
Oh, I see. So would they have to pay the $93 to take the exam the second time? The short answer is yes, but we might be able to work something out. Depends on the school, and if the school contacts me, we can see if we can work it out where we pay for it. When I was doing the original presentation, I talked about some students do have to pay the exam. Remember that we are a public school system. Students in private school, they may have to pay the exam. We do not test private school students with our public school students, so that if your child is attending a public school and you want your child to take the AP exam with us, that is not something that traditionally happens. So you would have to see what the private school is doing for advanced placement exams, and whether or not that that private school is receiving state money as to whether or not the AP exams are covered. Yes, students in middle school can earn high school credit. There are a number of ways that they can do that in the traditional schedule through foreign language, math, science, but also if you go back to Mr. Jargo's presentation, that a number of his courses in career and technical education offer high school credit. Chris, I don't know if you want to address that.
Yes, this is Chris Jargo, and you're correct. We have an introductory agriculture class that's at most middle schools, and that is a high school credit class, and it leads to many agriculture programs. We also have an introductory business computer class that will teach the Microsoft Office Basics that's at many of our middle schools and is for high school credit. These are both typically offered to 8th grade students. Thank you.
All right, well, I think that fields all of the questions. We do have the recording for this session and all the other Parent Academy virtual online coursework on our website, and they all are archived, so you can go back on our district website and type in Parent Academy in the search engine, and it will take you to the page with all of the webinars that have been presented, including this one. This one will probably be up no later than Monday morning, so you will be able to access this recording as well as the documents that you see here. So with that, I thank you all for your time and coming on tonight. We hope this information was helpful to you. Share this information, and our next presentation will be on cyber safety for your time. Good night, everyone.